Hey guys, April is the month of PMDD awareness, and as many of you have also informed me in the comments, it's also Autism Acceptance Month. Don't worry, I'm well aware, it's just that I like to highlight causes that not everybody else does. But if you are looking for a charity to support, please be sure to look at their stance on autism. What do they think of autism itself? Like, do not support Autism Speaks. I know you mean well, but they are people you don't trust. Please do your research. Autism is not something to cure. Anyway, since it is April, I will say that autism and PMDD apparently do have a certain correlation. Women and those assigned female at birth have a higher risk of developing PMDD, possibly as high as 92%. And if you have ADHD like I do, it's 42% higher. So please go get your checks, see how you're doing mentally, talk to somebody, and donate today. And remember, you are loved, you are wanted, and you got this. Now on with the video.
Well, maybe your car violated some sort of unspoken boundary, one that nobody bothers to codify because it's just common decency.
You know, I really can't think of a good intro, so we're just gonna dive right in, okay? I'll be perfectly honest, most of my Brian videos are actually improv. Hi, I'm Kitty Monk, and I'm here to talk to you about Family Guy. Or more specifically, Brian Griffin. Wow, Kitty, just wow. You just rely on Brian for everything, don't you? You just hate him so intentionally and immensely and whatever those words are, and yet you just use him for clickbait, don't you? What do you have to say for yourself? Money? I don't know, just money? This isn't cabaret, Kitty. Yes, this is YouTube, and I have a job to do and a video to review and a top 10 list at that. Now shut the hell up. Now, Brian is known throughout the show for dating lots of various women who have no problem sleeping around with a mangy mud and anthropomorphic dog who canonically has the herps. Like, no offense, I'm surprised this is never brought up even as a joke, like, oh, this works for you or something. Despite Brian's preference for bimbos, oh, look at him, he's dating girls on his level. Well, there are times when he falls head over heels for a woman he thinks is the one. Really, I don't think Ted Mosby has dated as many women as Brian, and his show ran for like almost 200 episodes, I think. And Brian does some crazy things to try and make fate happen, even if it's just getting in some girl's pants. Now, Brian has done a lot of crazy things in the name of love, but what is the craziest? Or at least the top 10 craziest? Well, let's discuss. Starting with...
Maybe we deserve each other.
It does seem like we're meant for each other. I mean, gosh, maybe that's what true marriage is. Two people who want each other to die.
Normally, Brian isn't really interested in anything long-term, like marriage. He normally only really meets with women or sleeps around with them for their bodies, because he totally isn't like Quagmire. No, he's better because he's a dog and not a cat. I mean, he's Brian. Oh, girls, don't we fall head over heels for Brian? I know I don't. And one time, one of these random lays briefly became his wife. Oh, again, like Quagmire, considering the whole situation with Sarmise. I should really review that episode, shouldn't I? In a bar one night, Brian meets a woman named Jess, who is on his level, aka she's infinitely smarter and hotter than him, but I guess she's gotta start somewhere. We can't all be reachers. And better yet, Jess doesn't want a real relationship, I guess you can say. She just wants a bunch of meaningless, cheap flings that don't mean squat. Why? Cancer. They never say which kind. I hate when shows do this. I don't know, no offense, it's just a me thing. I'm just saying, like, no offense.
Jess, I would like to help you cross off every single item on this list.
Aw, you would do that for me?
All except for number 17. I'm allergic to chocolate.
Which does suck, but yay for Brian! No long-term commitment, I guess, because this chick don't have no long-term anything. But seriously though, don't think I'm insulting these types of relationships. Between you and me, I've been in these kinds of relationships before. I mean, I'm a monk, why would I ever do that? No! But I think they're perfectly okay so long as you're both on the same page, you both communicate, and it's safe, consensual, all that jazz. Like, so long as every party knows what's going to happen when they get involved. If you're able to make it work, good for you. Plus, you know how I feel about being in a poly relationship or one with no attachment. You have my respect if you're able to make it work. Brian and Jess have a bunch of flings, as Jess has a major bucket list, and it's kind of giving me ideas. Wait, I mean, Jess collapses one day and learns that her cancer is back, and it's aggressive with a lot of gravitas, to the point where they need Dr. Gravitas to deliver the news. And she's going to die any day now.
Jess's condition is too serious to be announced by Dr. Hartman, so they sent me, Dr. Gravitas.
Oh, boy.
Wow, that sucks. Jess sobs when at death's door because what else can you possibly do? Like, I'd be freaking the hell out or just emotionally shut down, but that's just me and my brain. Plus, Brian can't just go to Carter and demand the cure for cancer. She confesses to Brian that despite her flings, her biggest dream was to get married and start a family, which obviously can't happen. Brian decides to help out by marrying her.
It would be my honor if you spent the rest of your life as my bride.
Oh, Brian. Yes!
Which I know you guys are gonna be like, ooh, Kitty's gonna talk about that time Brian married a girl for the attention. But no, honestly, to Brian's credit, yes, he is enjoying it because he's a jerk, but he just married her to make her happy. He legitimately wanted to make it up to a woman who didn't have long to live, which honestly, I can respect. Even if he doesn't love Jess, as in like, he wants to have a romantic relationship with her, he does have some modicum of respect for her.
There's no way you'd be marrying this woman if she wasn't going to die in 2 weeks. Oh, come on. Did you know that Lois was so moved she called Channel 5 to do a profile of me and Jess?
The thing is, he never makes that clear to Jess. Like, he can't say, I like you as a friend, or I like you as a lay, like, I respect you, but if you want to get married so somebody will be with you in your final days besides your mother, hey, I'm your guy. Like, this mofo is even willing to get married in a church. How is his skin not bursting into flames? The thing is, by some miracle, Jess lives, which, good for her.
Jess is going to live.
Brian, we really will be together forever.
And Brian can't just explain to her that he wants a separation because then he'll look like a jerk to everybody. Really? Why not just hide it like most people? I mean, he is a jerk, but I don't really know what he's worried about. But since Jess is going to live, well, she differs because she knows she's going to have it tomorrow. And because Jess's body isn't on chemo anymore, she changes. She gets the Kavorka.
Oh my god. It is so incredible having my appetite back. I love you.
Ah, shrimp.
She gains weight, her hair looks weird, she farts constantly, and Brian is forced to move in with her and her mama. So what does Brian decide to do beyond stew with the choices he made? Well, when Jess chokes when they're at a restaurant, Brian just tries to let her die so he'll be free of her. What? No, that is so evil, dude. Even for you.
Well, I'm sorry it's so disgusting, but that's all they have. Oh, what, you gonna die if you have to eat mild salsa? Come on.
Actually, Kitty, murder by inaction is technically not illegal. And neither is cannibalism, Catherine. I'm just saying, Brian is such a terrible person that he is willing to let a woman die just because he can't be honest with her. Like, this woman was literally dying, dude.
I would give anything if she were still here with me.
I'm okay.
Oh, don't worry, she pays him back in kind during the next episode where he gains weight because now he has to be a breadwinner. What? Brian has to work for a living like the rest of us mere mortals? And annoyed at him, she sends him to be euthanized, or eaten by Clifford. I feel like the latter would probably be a bit better.
What? Jess is having me put down? Oh my god, this can't be happening!
Did you also eat a kid?
But yeah, Brian, maybe not the best idea to marry a woman you don't know. Or at least, communicate with her. I feel like she would majorly understand here. Good thing it seems like the writers wrote themselves into a corner, or at least realized they did, and just had Jess die like a fly during the commercial break, no joke.
Well, Brian, I'm sorry that Jess died during the commercial break, but it was a very nice funeral service.
Yeah, it's sad. She was the love of my life.
But you know what I mean. Brian, boo! Go get Russell Crowe, he'll beat you up.
Sometimes I feel...
Trapped?
No, I was going to say, like the Von Trapps. Unable to leave their home in Austria.
Oh.
Bonnie and Joe don't really interact. They're kind of like Fred and Shaggy. Like, I can't recall one episode prior to the Heartbreak Dog where they meaningfully interacted, or share a conversation, but Brian swears to Satan that he swears they have a connection. They do, like North Pole magnets, I'd argue. As in two North Pole magnets, not North Pole and South Pole like how magnets are supposed to work. But we have an episode to review and I won't explain the joke any further, because then there is no joke. It's Bonnie's birthday and Brian comes out of the bathroom and finds her crying in her bedroom, and also discovers her name is Bonald, which I already said it, but I do find that weirdly adorable.
I told you, Joe, when we're alone, you can call me Bonald.
No, it's me, Brian. Is that your real name?
Bonnie confesses that she feels like she wasted her whole life taking care of Joe, and presumably also Kevin and Susie, and feels like she'll never have the chance to pursue her own dreams, especially when it comes to making jewelry.
I had so many things I wanted to do with my life, but now all I've ever done is take care of Joe.
And now you feel like you never had a chance to be your true self.
Oh, Bonald, I feel the same way. Do you know how hard it is to make friendship bracelets? It took me like 3 tries just to make one because you gotta twist them and knot them, and if not, the beads come off, and the beads still came off, and I wasn't in the Survey Corps. Brian claims he feels very similar to Bonald, like being with Peter held him back or some crap like that. Lies? Brian, you love living with Peter. The only time you really didn't was in Forget-Me-Not, in that episode where they acted like he was part of the civil rights movement or something, and the former was just Brian reflecting on whether he'd be friends with Peter even if he technically wasn't his pet. Granted, considering episodes like Brian's play, maybe he's just experiencing a mini midlife crisis caused by being a dog.
What's wrong?
Nothing. I have something in my eye.
Yes, you do. It looks like sadness.
And arguably, situations like Brian not graduating from college or making something of himself are his own damn fault. He just had to not cheat despite literally everybody telling him it was okay to cheat in this case, or he just had to not have his head up his ass when he went on Bill Maher and he would have had a best-selling novel, maybe a second one, and a friendship with Stewie intact. And here, he does stuff despite literally everybody telling him not to. Sense a pattern? At least with Bonald, we know why she did it, and she arguably has more of a reason. Like you guys told me, caretaker burnout is real. Like, this woman needs a break. Does it excuse what she does? No, but unlike Lois or Brian, there's more of a reason that, to me, at least makes her sympathetic. Brian tries to comfort Bonnie, but he ends up kissing her.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean...
No, it's okay. I'd better go downstairs before Joe realizes I'm gone.
Ew, gross, a dog kissing another dog. But the thing is, it was just a slip-up. And a trauma bond, I'd argue. Like, they just had a quick moment, that was it. If at that. And really, neither really meant it. I don't think it's a big whoop, like Brian didn't do it with lustful intent. Like, it's still a bad thing, don't get me wrong, and I get why Joe is angry. It's just not like a lot of the other Brian examples where he meant to do it. Yeah, well, too bad neither really realize that. They believe there's something between them, and they decide the only way they will ever be happy is to run away and pursue their dreams.
No one ever takes the time to ask how I feel. Brian's the only one.
They don't get us, Bonnie. And you deserve better than this. We both do.
The thing is, well, they don't exactly have a plan, or money saved up for such a plan. They just randomly leave with the clothes on their backs one day and decide to go wherever the wind takes them. Is it any wonder they end up working at a greasy spoon and living out of their car?
Wow. I am sorry. Look, this isn't us. This is just the no food and sleeping in a car talking.
Yeah, maybe therapy is an option in this case. I mean, it worked for Brian when he was in love with Lois.
Then why don't you tell me how they feel?
Next time. Some things are worth waiting for.
Wow, you're really a true gentleman.
Yep. Not too many of us left.
Unlike South Park, Brian is not a bastion of disability rap, although he does try. As in try to take advantage of the disabilities of women so that he can try to get in their pants. Brian, the patronization doesn't work, they're used to it. You need to try harder and, treat them like equals. I mean, I feel like maybe then they'll want to go out with you in that case. In The Blind Side, Peter meets his new co-worker, Stella, who happens to be deaf, and also voiced by Marlee Matlin, and using the correct ASL signs, I feel. I don't know. You guys know how I feel about ASL. I actually kind of like this part.
Sorry.
It's okay. I'm used to people being a little uncomfortable with me at first. If you have any questions, feel free to ask.
And I wish Stella came back more. Come on. Like, it's right there. She's begging to. She could be like Ida. Competent, but just happens to be something else. But anyways, this gives Quagmire the idea to do a disabled ladies' night at the Clam. And one of the girls Brian meets is a girl named Kate. Kate is an attractive woman, and her and Brian hit it off. Only, there's a problem. She's blind.
You want to go outside? Maybe a little quieter?
Sure.
Oh, my God,
Hey, check out Brian with a blind chick.
Well, I mean, it's not a problem. In fact, Brian does get past it, I argue, which at first he is pretty good about. But Kate can't see Brian, and she doesn't know he's a dog. And she hates dogs the same way Alistair hates birds. Well, granted, I heard that originally Alistair hated dogs, but you know what I mean. Oh boy!
They're just slobbery, annoying, needy little bastards. I'm just not really a dog person, I guess.
Oh, yeah, me neither. Dog people can get pretty annoying.
Now, I believe strong communication is great for any kind of relationship, be it platonic, romantic, whatever. And trust does go a long way, and communication helps build trust. And Brian does love Kate, but he's neither a communicator nor somebody I would trust to save me. I mean, one time he let a lady and her kid drown just because she had a kid. Since Brian hides the fact he's a dog from Kate, fearing and probably knowing Kate wouldn't go out with him if he were upfront about it.
Brian, you never told me you had a beard. I love beards.
Oh, yeah, no, hey, I'm bearding it up over here.
Brian furthermore tries to continue seeing Kate while also deceiving her on all of their dates to make himself look better, like making her think he's stopping robbers or going to the Eiffel Tower with her, when really they're just outside of his house on a Stairmaster or something.
Yeah, it's here for Wimbledon or something.
Oh my God, that's the most romantic thing anybody's ever done for me.
Well, get used to it. You're gonna be hearing a lot of things I've done for you.
I don't know what I hate more. How they suddenly made Kate, who was actually pretty competent at first, stupid enough to fall for these schemes. Like, I don't know, she's blind. I feel like she'd probably be used to this, or guys trying to take advantage of her. Or how Brian can't just be honest with her beyond the fact that he's a dog. Like, what the heck, dude? Kate eventually tells Brian she wants him to meet her parents, who, unlike Kate, can actually see that Brian is a lying liar who lies. So Brian goes in with a massive plan to pretend his face was battered or burned or something or whatever. I don't know, dude. It's not like they can just see the rest of you. Like, are they gonna question why you have a giant snout, or why your eyes are so small, or why you're super short?
Oh my God, Brian, are you okay?
Oh, don't worry, I'm fine. I'm just sort of bandaged up right now. You must be Kate's parents. It's so nice to meet you.
Well, it's lovely to meet you too.
But a bunch of stunts later, like Brian's tail getting cut off or cauterized with a blowtorch, and he does come clean and tell Kate that he's a dog, which majorly upsets her. Thankfully, Kate is a self-respecting woman, and she promptly dumps Brian.
You know what, Brian? I could have gotten over the fact that you're a dog, because I really do care about you, and I feel like we had a connection. But I can't get over the fact that you lied to me.
Good for you, Kate. Good for you. You dodged a bullet.
To those she loved, she exuded strength, life, laughter, and light. And to me also sorrow, for circumstance had bound her to my best friend.
Now, it's no secret throughout the show that Brian has a certain attraction towards Lois. Like, if she wasn't with Peter, I could see them getting together. I mean, they literally married in one episode when they thought Peter was dead. Plus, there was an entire episode where he kept having incontinence bouts whenever he saw her doing something arousing, even if it was probably her just scolding Peter. But in that episode, with a little help from therapy and a talk with Lois, the pair came to an understanding that while they did feel something between each other, well, they worked a lot better as friends, and they would do nothing to change that.
When you and I share that someone like me wouldn't change for anything in the world.
Someone like me wouldn't change it for anything in the world either.
I'm glad.
Yeah, and then Play It Again Brian came along and was like, screw that precious moment, no. We're gonna have Brian get Lois drunk so he can make out with her, which is like date rape, I guess? In the episode I just mentioned, Brian wins a writing contest by plagiarizing. Of course, he would be too stupid to actually come up with original, meaningful material, even if he claims it was written with Lois in mind.
Oh, that was beautiful, Brian.
Well, you know what they say. Write what's in your heart.
Lying liar. Brian wins an all-expense-paid trip to Martha's Vineyard, which strangely I've never been to. I wonder how it is. And he invites Peter and Lois to come with. But to somehow make Brian seem more in the right, well, they gotta dial Peter's jerky behavior up by 1,000,000. Like, Peter starts neglecting Lois more than he does nowadays. Or, like, neglecting her to go fishing with the guys rather than go hang out with her parents.
Let's go change out of this fishing gear.
Hey, Peter, what's up?
Come on, we gotta go now. Come on, Joe, Quagmire, come on, go. Pull the car around, come on, let's go.
Like, that's not a euphemism, BTW, but considering how he was a fisherman for a while, it does seem strangely in character. Peter ends up lumpusing around and doing all of this inconsiderate crap, not even bothering to go to Brian's award ceremony. That way, Brian can look more superior by comparison. Brian and Lois hang out, and Brian starts to get urges again. Oh god, he's gonna start peeing on the floor soon.
Lois, my darling!
Little music, some candlelight.
Lois, my darling!
Whoa, 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 whoa. What am I doing? This is Lois, Peter's wife.
No, Brian, no! No, don't make me whack you with a rolled up newspaper. Now, contrary to what people think, while I do think it sucks Brian is having these urges, and, like, he knows it's wrong, I think it's totally different if you act on it. Like, if you just have the thought, I'm not trying to defend him, well, self-control goes a long way, and he was restraining himself. So, I don't know. Yeah, so Brian's plan amounts to essentially drugging Lois by getting her drunk, and then trying to kiss her after she says no, which are both forms of assault, BTW. And then after he gets Lois drunk, well...
Ah, my head is swimming. Oh my god, Brian, no! No, stop it!
I know you're married to Peter, but I love you and I can't stand it anymore.
Brian, that's even worse, and you know it's worse. Like, what the hell, dude? No, you blow and suck. I hate to say it. You do both. Besides, you've been over this already. So no, you don't get Lois. Lois is not a prize to win. No, you get the finger. Of course, I'm behind a computer screen or a phone screen or whatever, but no, you get nothing. Boo you. Peter deserves to beat you up.
Lois, I'd really like to talk about this.
No! Stop scratching the door!
Okay.
Brian, I'll be right back. I'm gonna use the little girl's room.
All right, baby.
Ugh, an entire week and still no teeth.
Okay, I did not want to include Jillian, but there was one moment in particular that is actually plot relevant that I think I can include. And honestly, I might have included a trigger warning at the beginning of this, so BTW. Now, throughout the entirety of their relationship, Brian never treated Jillian good, I'd argue. Or at least treated her with respect, like you probably would for another person you consider an equal. He never wanted a serious relationship with her, he patronized her, he basically dated her to seem superior, he basically just wanted her for her body. And he went to serious extremes to make sure she looked beautiful to his standards. In Prick Up Your Ears, Stewie learns that Jillian is bulimic, meaning she has an eating disorder that causes her to, in a nutshell, eat large amounts of food and then vomit up meals. Why does it happen? Well, guys, for reasons that aren't about being thin a lot of the time, I'd argue, despite what TV says. For many bulimics, it's actually a form of self-hatred and shame. Like, to put it the best way possible, it's like a form of punishment. Since, for many people, eating disorders are basically control disorders, I'd argue. Like, I can't control myself, but I can control what I put in my body and what comes out of it. Now, bulimia is a serious condition, and I will include a hotline in this section if I haven't already, and it can cause a variety of health problems if left untreated, which even Brian points out.
I mean, her hair is falling out. Last week she lost a tooth.
Really?
But man, I'll tell you, all that purging just makes her body look fantastic.
But Brian doesn't care about this myriad of issues that are plaguing his own girlfriend, or at least enough to get her help, because apparently it makes her look good.
Karen Carpenter overdid it, but I think Jillian's found a good balance.
Brian, unlike what TV tells you, unlike anorexia, bulimia tends to be a, quote, hidden disorder, I'd argue, because it's usually easier to hide, I'd argue, where unless you notice the signs, which are very subtle, like red, full cheeks from purging, or talking about food constantly, but never actually being seen eating, well, people who have bulimia tend to look the same, I'd argue. So you aren't helping, you're just making it worse, especially since it seems like Jillian is bulimic because of body issues, so stop encouraging this, you jerk! I don't know, normally when I do top 10 lists, I try to include full episodes, because I feel like those are funner to talk about, and the moments come off as way worse in that case, but here, it's a small, non-cutaway gag-related moment that is super terrible when you actually start to add realism to it. And considering how Stewie takes advantage of Jillian's ED later in order to steal a tooth and trap the Tooth Fairy, yeah, I feel a lot better about including this.
Oh my god! Are you saying I'm fat?
No, I'm saying Santa's thin. Get in there and throw up! Excellent. Now I'm prepared to fight the Tooth Fairy. I thought you said you were going to talk to her.
I did, and she's doing her best, you know? She's got a lot on her plate. She's got school, she's got work.
This is her work!
Believe it or not, this actually got me to make the list, because originally I was going to review the episode on its own, but then I realized, holy crap, I have enough to make a list. So the list was born. Stewie is arguably Brian's best friend, like way more than Peter. Their bond is really cute, and normally he will put his jerky behavior aside for Stewie's sake, unless it concerns a woman. Brian picks Stewie up from daycare one day to discover he's filthy and his daycare did not clean him up. Stewie's further comments make Brian decide that, to his credit, he will have a talk with the staff because, you know, Peter and Lois are not going to get involved.
Emily tied us all to the sink while she went out to return a birthday present?
No, that's not normal at all. That teacher sounds really irresponsible.
She is. Adults are stupid.
Brian gets there and discovers Stewie is at an illegal daycare. It's in somebody's house, there's no safety precautions, and the teacher, Miss Emily, is not present. She just leaves for extended periods of time to go do her own crap. Brian goes to give Miss Emily a piece of his mind, but unfortunately, Miss Emily either has a good metabolism or a perfect body.
Hi, who are you?
Brian Steele? I was just dropping Stewie off.
Oh yeah, I should probably go back in there, see how everyone's doing, I guess.
Ah, they're fine.
So Brian decides to instead romance Miss Emily into his bedroom, while ignoring the fact she's abusing kids that aren't just Stewie under her care, including his best friend and housemate.
Miss Emily and I have a connection, which is totally unexpected. And by the way, I actually think she's doing a pretty good job. She's teaching you guys independence.
We're one! Independence means we die!
Like when Stewie comes home with a dislocated arm because Miss Emily hurt him because he stood up to her, he just pops it back into place.
And my arm came out of its socket.
Are you sure? Are you sure you didn't just sleep on it, Funny?
Does this look like I slept on it, Funny? I'm gonna tell Mom. Mom!
You are not going anywhere.
Listen to Stewie, Brian. Stop doing this. And what's worse is, it's not just Stewie. Like, at least 30 kids, if not more, are just being randomly neglected, and you're just ignoring this in order to bone a random lady who won't give you the time of day. Like, seriously, as a mandated reporter, this hurts more for me. But what gets Brian to decide to call the cops on Miss Emily, you ask? The fact she has a boyfriend and therefore can't go out on a date with him.
What you did to these kids? There is a special place in hell for people like you.
Oh no, how terrible. Brian suddenly stood up for the kids. No, you don't get that. You should be in that cop car with her, dude. Don't just grow a moral character now. You're not the moral Oral's dad.
Build a cure, huh?
Aww.
Hey, you know what, Patty? Why don't you take the extra one?
Wow, thanks, Brian.
Yeah, that's cool, Brian. Will you buy me a hat at Lids?
No.
No, Brian, no. You totally aren't like Glenn Quagmire. No, you're perfect. It's not like you both went after barely legal 18-year-old high school teenagers. Because while the girls in question are 18 and therefore legally adults, they're still mentally and literally high schoolers. And you're the dog equivalent of middle-aged. Like, I've made my point about age gaps in the past. Like, to me, after a certain point, you do not go out with people unless they're old enough to drink. And even then, that's still pretty weird, I'd argue. Scammed Yankees, an episode I've wanted to review because it's a really bad Modern Family Guy episode. It involves Brian showing up to Meg's school one day, albeit he's not being a creep at this point. He legitimately has a reason to be there because he has to return Patty's gym bag while they're doing sports, and he didn't mean to see what happened. But then he spies something on his way out. Patty, Meg's friend, despite having a butterface, apparently has a good body.
Holy crap, that was Patty! She's got a smoking hot body! This is a bigger surprise than when I found out Joe was a clown.
Okay, why do you care? Oh, wait, I forgot. This is Brian Griffin, and Brian is a creepy pervert! And he can't stop telling anyone who is willing to listen.
She's in high school.
I know, and she's in high school.
It's like 7 a.m., dude. Calm down.
Meg, hey, how's it going?
Oh my god, Brian, you make my brain hurt. Do you want to end up on Chris Hansen? Because you will. I mean, it happened to Cartman, and it will happen to you. Brian tries to get close to Patty by acting like one of them, which, oh my god, it's not only super cringy, it's freaking gross. Like, it's legitimately making my skin crawl. Like, this is a teenager, dude. No, this is not cool at all. But this line is relatable to me.
Patty, just Patty.
Oh, she loves anything where a teenage girl is sick and dies of cancer. Or any movie where a character is named Patty.
Well, sorry if the one time Abigail isn't an old lady name. I was Britney Spears in How I Met Your Mother, or a little girl who got poisoned in The Haunting of Hill House. At least I have Gunsmoke. Kitty, you know Miss Kitty on Gunsmoke? Which strangely nobody's ever called you Miss Kitty, I mean. It's actually kind of old. Yeah, but she's still rocking it, Catherine. That's what's most important. So to get Patty's attention, Brian starts to, strip the comedy away, basically groom her. Like giving her extra attention, little gifts, doing whatever to get her to pay attention to him and stay on his side.
Well, then hop on board the Panda Express. In bed, right? like with the fortune cookies, you know.
And I don't care how often the show keeps lampshading it, it's freaking gross. Like, it's gross. Heck, it's worse in that case for me because of how desperate it comes off. And how they know about it and they're still continuing to do it. Like, no, it's disgusting. Meg keeps telling him to back off, but he refuses. They go on a date and Patty starts to get curious because she's not a giant moron.
Why are you so nice to me? Most guys never give me the time of day because I'm so plain looking.
Well, I'm not like most guys. I can see past that sweater.
Meg stops the date and tells Patty about what happened, despite the issue of Meg feeling jealous of Patty not really being a prior factor, and he loses.
Oh, come on! What the hell?
Bummer.
Oh no, how awful. Do I have to continue saying why this is weird? Because I don't want to, so I'm gonna move on.
Brian Griffin! What brings you to India, Brian?
I'll tell you what brought me. True love.
He's breaking up a marriage.
Fun fact, Brian ruined things so badly that he ruined any potential Road 2 episodes for decades to come. Like, this is the most recent one, and there hasn't been any, other Road 2 episodes since. Blame Brian. Boo! I used to like this series. I'm Brian, and so is my wife. Brian is on a customer service hotline for tech support.
My computer locked up right in the middle of this story I'm working on.
God, even Microsoft Word hates your writing.
Stewie's good. He's actually pretty good this whole episode. He's got a lot of zingers. Brian enjoys the stranger's voice on the phone, which belongs to a woman named Padma, who is very polite.
Actually, my computer froze right in the middle of a story I'm writing.
Oh, you are a writer? Are you famous?
By choice, no. No, sometimes fame brings a lot of unwanted attention.
Oh, God. Brian, look, no offense, she probably doesn't love you. She's just being polite because she has to be. That's her job. I've met dudes in this case, and I'm sorry. We're just told to do it. We have to. Oh my God, Brian would totally be the type of person to fall in love with a waitress or a therapist. They keep talking, and Brian says that he loves talking to her, and a connection seems to form, even though they've only really talked about tech support. The thing is, well, not only is their bond super duper shaky, this episode is kinda weak. Not only did King of the Hill do this whole concept way better with Bill and Jane, the drive-thru lady, but Padma lives all the way across the world in India. I mean, at least Jane lived in Arizona, so I can get Bill just going on a 10-hour road trip for that. In this being Family Guy, their version of India is a stereotypical one. Not just stereotypical, the most stereotypical surface level stereotype you can think of, and then just stating or showing the stereotype, and unlike South Park, not really doing anything with them.
You think all those chickens had to buy tickets?
Do! Quick, hit the red buttons!
Excuse me, man with no pupil, where can we get a taxi cab around here?
Wow, how edgy. India's overpopulated. Wow, how edgy. India's Hindu. I knew none of this. I'm so offended, I'm going to complain. Oh no, I'm clutching my pearls. Plus, I'd argue it isn't urgent the same way it is for most Road 2 episodes, Padma is getting married against her will. Brian can basically do this any other episode. I wouldn't be surprised if this was just a normal episode they turned into a Road 2. I mean, we do find out later she is getting married to a man she doesn't love, but Brian isn't going to India on that merit, to save his true love or something. He's just going based on a leap of faith, because clearly Padma doesn't have a phone or something she can use to contact Brian outside of tech support. I'm sure she has at least an email or maybe a phone herself. Really, you wasted a Road 2 episode for this? But okay, Brian is in India, he's with Stewie, and he meets Padma, and wow, she's actually super hot. But there's another problem. Besides Brian being annoying when he gets with a woman, and not in an idealistic, cute, charming kind of way like Ted Mosby, where even if I disagree with him, I get why he's doing it.
I can't believe this. Why are you here?
Because I was having a technical issue with my heart.
Ugh, 16 hours on a plane and that's what you came up with?
Padma's engaged. Oh yeah, I already went over that. Padma's engaged to somebody she doesn't love. And she rejects her suitor in order to be with Brian.
Padma, what is it?
My true love is here tonight. He has come to me all the way from America. His name is Brian Griffin, and my heart belongs to him.
Wait a minute, girl. You're throwing away your whole life because of some dude you've only talked to over the phone a couple of times? Like, you know this dude let his wife die, right? Maybe you two actually do deserve each other. Which further sucks because Padma's father paid a large dowry to her fiance's family. And Brian, Padma, oh my god, you don't know each other, like, at all, I'd argue. Like, I can get at least visiting Padma, even if that is still kind of crazy, but it's totally different to marry a woman you barely know. Did you not learn from Jess? So he has to go on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire in order to win the dowry, and loses badly because he knows nothing about Indian pop culture.
That was a really tough question.
No, it wasn't. Everyone in India knows who Sachin Tendulkar is.
Fun fact, this is a real dude. I mean, I heard he's Australian. I didn't really do any major research on it, but apparently he was a real dude, so yeah, I applaud you guys. But wait, does this mean all the stereotypes were intentional? Still doesn't save the episode for me. Padma decides to break up with Brian because he lost badly since...
I think watching you try to answer that question out there, I realized something. You know nothing of my country or my culture.
Neither do the writers, dude. But good for you for standing up for yourself. And I've exhausted all of my comments, so Stewie, finish up for me.
A peck on the cheek? Was that worth an $8,000 coach ticket?
You know what? It's about the journey, not the destination.
No, it's not. This sucked and you failed.
Aw, thank you, Stewie.
Why do you keep a sleeping baby in your time machine room?
I don't know, my decorator's terrible.
Oy vey, this includes a lot of girls. One of the most trademark parts of the show is Stewie's time machine. A good many good episodes are built on the premise of Stewie going back in time or into the future and playing around or messing with it, and then consequences ensuing and usually him and Brian having to fix them. How does he do this? Through a high fantasy, high stakes time machine. At least until Brian ruins it in the 150th episode, Yug Yella Math. Oh my god, I can't pronounce that. Brian, what the hey? Brian is at a bar one night when he spots a woman, but he can't land the deal. Or almost. Good for her, she's dodging a bullet. Like, really? This dude seems a lot better. But why did he lose out? Because she got swept away by an even cooler guy who has a bunch of stuff to his credit, which makes him seem awesome.
My house has 8,000 square feet, 0 bookshelves.
Wow, that's impressive.
I'm a writer, published twice.
I own a cinder block yard.
At least until Brian says...
I have a time machine.
You do?
No, he frickin' don't, technically. It belongs to a random baby he lives with. Brian lies to the girl, who they never name, so I will call Ashley, and uses the time machine to go do freaky stuff with Ashley. That way he can prove to her that he has a time machine, and he can score with Ashley in weirdo places.
Where are we?
Ford's Theater, April 14th, 1865.
Oh, Valentine's Day! How romantic!
Yeah, sure.
Okay, look, no offense, dude, the girls you've been dragging here are so stupid that I think if you just waved your hand and said that was a time machine or like snapped your fingers, they would believe you. Like, you don't have to try so hard, dude, dang. The problem was, Brian didn't just do it for Ashley. He did it for like 5 different girls, probably more, like the Griffins even started to take notice. And Brian doesn't realize that Stewie probably anticipated somebody would try to screw with his time machine, so he added an odometer to the time machine to see how many years passed, which Brian did not anticipate. And I thought you are a genius and a writer. Don't us writers read? That's how you get better. Oh wait, you're bad, aren't you? The girl he's with says he should just reverse the odometer, that way Stewie won't know what's going on. Oh, and also...
Are you 16?
I will be next September.
Well, I think someone has a Barnes & Noble gift card coming for their silence.
Wow, he's really like Quagmire, huh? Brian does try to do as instructed, but in the process, he ends up messing with time. Like, dude, what did you think was going to happen? It's not a toy, or one that you can play with. The time machine has a meltdown, and time ends up reversing for everybody who isn't Stewie and or Brian. Oh, you happy, Bri? Was it worth the fun, Brian? Did you have fun, Brian? Don't worry, he at least gets tortured, because with time going in reverse, he has to experience everything against his will. Like, remember the Epicat scene? Even though nowadays they don't prescribe Epicat? Yep, he and Stewie have to eat vomit, ew! Or he has to watch Stewie be unborn, and doing nothing to stop it. Look, I hate you so much if you couldn't already tell, Brian, it's just, time gives me another excuse, okay?
I love animals. It's why I do this. I even pride myself on being able to find every dog's spot, right behind the ears.
Well, maybe you can find mine sometime.
Wow, Brian destroyed religion because of a girl? He is a petty little dude, and unlike Beetlejuice, I hate him for it. He's like, ugh, he would hate King Solomon. Okay, I'm sure by now you all know about Brian's little feud with Christianity, so I won't discuss it any further. It's really ad nauseum at this point, Kitty. Like your hatred for Brian. Shut up, Catherine. But yeah, Brian has a feud with Christianity, and thank you guys for telling me about this modern episode. It's actually surprisingly good. In Faith No More, Brian meets a nurse named Emma at the vet, because Brian's at the vet, you know what I mean. He's getting some kind of a procedure that plays Ed Sheeran music when Peter works out or something. Okay, I don't know. Just go watch the episode, alright? I really don't know what's going on.
We're doing a 50% off promotion on our new state-of-the-art tracking chip. It connects to an app that will monitor Brian's vitals and even has a Bluetooth speaker so you can play songs through him.
Brian hits it off with the nurse, who is basically the perfect caregiver for him, not girlfriend. But Brian don't care. He's going to tap that. She's hot and he's his type, so yeah, he's going to bone that.
All I like to do is play tennis, but I'm not even that good. I keep hitting the balls over the fence and have no one to retrieve them.
Hey, babe, I'm in.
Well,
but wait, is that Mae Whitman? Only there's a problem. Like, besides the ones I just mentioned, or the fact that as a nurse, there's probably some code of conduct that Emma's breaking, like HIPAA or whatever. Rather, it's because she's an evangelical Christian. Brian is gonna go to hell, and not the cool spindle horse one, like the one from Cuphead.
It's a Quahog church.
Church? So, is it, Christian rock?
Yeah, I'm an evangelical Christian. Is that a problem?
But why would he care? She found his G-spot. I mean, the spot he likes to have scratched behind his ear. I mean, oh, no, I was correct. Yeah, the spot he likes to have scratched behind his ear.
I'm not really a big fan of
There's your spot. Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying?
I just that I'm not a big fan of anything but Jesus.
Brian decides to, for once, outside of April and Quahog, embrace Christianity. I hate you so much, you freaking hypocrite. Look at how you're dressed. Like, oh my god, I would puke. And I would do an exorcist thing. Brian goes with Emma to an evangelical concert and asks to go back to her place, which she of course refuses. Like, dude, she's a Christian. What did you expect? Like, they can't do it before marriage. Plus, honestly, she could still say no. Like, I don't know, maybe she thought that you two were friends. Plus, like I said, she's a nurse, so maybe she can't get physical.
And no good Christian believes in before marriage, except for every minister or politician you've ever heard of.
But you scratched my spot. You have tattoos.
Yeah, of Bible verses.
So Brian is right back to hating Christianity and decides that Christianity is what's wrong with the world and society, because we live in a society, all because a woman refused to sleep with him on the basis of her religious beliefs. Also, you ain't a cross, Brian. You ain't allowed to talk, dude.
So much of the division and hatred in today's society comes from Christianity, and it's so hypocritical. Christianity is also anti-science, anti-freedom. Come on, it's not all bad.
Oh my god, you're one to talk. Like, I hate you so much. South Park did this way better. Like, I feel there's actual things to talk about with Christianity and religion and all that jazz, but you ain't one to talk. Like, really, dude? No. So what does Brian do? Use Stewie's time machine to sneak away and make it so Christianity never happened, by convincing Jesus to instead become a comedian, not a messiah, which, honestly, at least he let Jesus live, I'll be honest, because I never watched this episode, so until I had to make the review, so I literally assumed he, like, killed him or something. I mean, Jesus still ends up dying because he told the wrong joke on a college campus, but hey, at least Brian didn't do it. But quick nitpick, and this is just me, is it just me, or does Jesus sound really deadpan, like he's just reading off a script? Like, who voiced him here, no offense? Doesn't he usually have another voice actor?
You again? What the hell is your problem?
Me? What the hell is your problem? You're always telling everyone what to do and think.
You think I want to do this? I only do it because my dad makes me.
With Christianity gone, Judaism is the dominant religion, which makes sense since Christianity is in some regards spawned off of Judaism. Like, even Family Guy pointed out that Jesus was a Jew, so to persecute Jewish people in the name of them being heathens against Christianity is kind of antithetical to your own faith. It's like kicking your grandpa in the shin. However, there's one problem.
Oh, there you guys are. It's almost sundown, so let's turn off our devices and walk 3 miles to temple.
What? Ha! You were saying, Brian?
Even if I feel like Brian could just choose to not go to temple, like how he typically chooses to not go to church. Plus, you can also be Jewish and not go to temple, except for high holidays, and even that's up to you. Like, I don't even think there's a penalty for not going. Wait, is there a penalty for not going to temple? Honestly, though, I think it would have been hilarious if Brian tried to go after a girl. Like, let's say Emma in this case, like maybe she's an evangelical Jew or something, and he can't score with her because she's Nitta, meaning like she's on her period and she didn't take the bath or something. And that gets him to change his mind. Like, hey Emma, can I go out with you? Oh no, I'm sorry Brian, I'm Nitta this week. Okay Stewie, let's go. I don't know, I actually do kind of like this episode compared to Not All Dogs Go to Heaven because they fully admit this stuff happened. It's just, I feel like it would be a roundabout way to bring the initial plot back into the fold. So Brian instead decides to destroy Christianity. Oh my god, Brian, just admit you were upset Emma dumped you, okay? Oh my god. God, just go beat some sense into this dude, please. Like, we're off track already.
God, fix it, fix it, fix it, fix it. It was his idea. It's not even my machine. You don't think Einstein and Carl Sagan tried this crap? I had to send them to Noogie City. Is that where you want to live?
Thank you. Brian, stop meddling with religion. You aren't Richard Dawkins, and I will sick the flying spaghetti monster on you.